everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. As you can see, I am looking rather rough. I haven't had a face shave in 7 days. I haven't had a head shave and I've just lost count. Last couple of weeks have been challenging to say the least. So from the 19th of August until today, which is 14 days, we have lost both of our dogs. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. I've never actually lost anyone close to me, really. And the dogs they're like your kids, so yeah, it was pretty hard. I do, however, have, thankfully, things like this that probably didn't happen many years ago. But I do have both of my dogs' Ashes with me at all times, albeit a little girly, but they were both my girls, so, or our girls. But yeah, I'll probably talk more about it in the face shave. I just want to get this head shave knocked out. That was a bit harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm holding it back here, I can assure you. Not great. Echoes of Rain from Moyle Grooming. Now, Sean has just recently put an announcement out through Top of the Chain that it's being re-released. You can pre-order it at the moment, so if you want to grab a copy of this, it's a very nice woodsy sort of spicy type scent. You can head over to Top of the Chain and pre-order it now. I'll post a link down below if I remember once I actually make these videos up, but let's get stuck in anyway. I've got the soap soaking. I've got my brush soaking. I'm going to use my Rhodium knot today. Surprise, surprise, you know, because it's all about changes on this channel, not. I will be using a new razor today though, part of the shave. Not for the full shave, but for part of it. Just get that water from the soap out, really. So that's the soap there. I've just had that soaking for about 2 or 3 minutes, I think, maybe longer than that, maybe 5 minutes. I'm still pouring water out of it. Straight on top of it with the brush. I will have to add more water though, because this will be far too dry. Just dip the tips now. And once more. Now the soap itself is made by Tallow and Steel. I don't know whether it's actually available on their website. I think it might just be exclusively at Top of the Chain. They're a Canadian company. Moyle Grooming's a Canadian brand as well. A Canadian company, so it's all made in Canada and sold in Canada at this current stage. Now I am going to just rinse the soap out because that's what I do in preparation for my face shave as well, but I'll just rinse it out now. So my commentary might not be its usual self today. It's still pretty raw and pretty fresh in memory. Yeah, I've got a little crust, it's almost like a shrine in the house. Both dogs are back with us now, they're Ashes, and we just went nuts, you know. It's like, I mean, what do? You're part of your life for so long, and you want to have as many things to remind you of them as you can. Right, here we go. I mean, thankfully we live in an era or an age where technology, for example cameras and videos and things like that, and being able to do things is obviously easily accessible these days, and it gives you a lot more comfort in a sense, especially when you're grieving, to be able to look back on videos and have a laugh. And you know, and we don't really have any bad memories with the dogs as such. If anything, all the bad memories are caused from human emotion and human errors and human problems that we create ourselves. So the dogs just generally pick up the pieces and carry you on and keep you going. They are by far one of the world's best healers, that's for sure. I've certainly shed many, many tears over the last 2 weeks. And as much as it sounds sort of strange, a lot of it was done in front of my kids, and in some way I'm very sort of humbled by that as well, because sometimes it's something you don't see. I don't think, and I mean, I'm 38 years old now, I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry or heard him cry. There was always a sort of macho air about him. He was always the tough man. He always got the job done. He was always there when you needed him, and he never, you know, emotion never got the better of him. But if anything, it bred into me as well, and I felt a bit like that. And I think for the kids to see that I was sort of human, you know, the boys, because you sort of look up. You definitely look up to your dad when you're a very young kid, and he's like a superhero sort of figure, you know. And it would be quite, even for me now at 38, to see my dad cry would be a very humbling experience, and would sort of show that he is actually human, even though I know he is, but I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from with it. Now, because I've got quite a lot of growth on my head, I'm not going to be able to build a massively voluminous lather. It's nearly impossible. I've tried several times, and maybe too much soap in the brush as well, which isn't helping. So what I want is just really a bit of slickness. This is obviously product on my head. It's just not going to be my usual standards. Right, I think that'll do me. I'm pretty happy-ish with that. So I'm going to start off with the Overlander from Karve, the aluminium Overlander. I've got a brand spanking new feather in here. I took the Pole Silver out, not really because it needed to come out, I just used it that many times. I want to try some different blades in it. Now this is my last feather, and I thought what a good chance to sort of test it out with a lot of growth. It's only a 0.73 blade gap from memory, I think 0.73, so we'll just see how it tackles this amount of hair and how easily it rinses out, because really the rinsing out is the key for me. I'm just wondering whether popping this light on will make a difference. I think it has made a little bit of a difference. So here we go. The first stroke with the Overlander with a brand new feather. What do you reckon? Not too shabby. There's a few hairs there, a few stray hairs. But absolutely nothing to write home about. And the one thing with this razor is I don't know why it does it so well. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a few strokes now, just a few. I want to try and fill this channel up, the lather channels. So that they're absolutely chock-a-block full. Right, so maybe you might not be able to see it too well. These channels are absolutely full of hair now, and the hair is quite long. You can probably see it, how long the hair strands are. So it's full. I'm just going to dip it in the water, quick shake. It's crystal clear. I don't know why this razor does it so well and so easily, but it just does. Same again, it's pretty full. That one stuck on a little bit, but just another quick little shake in the water, and it's crystal clear. However Chris over at Karve designed this razor, especially the lather channels, he absolutely nailed them. I'm trying to lean very well. I'm trying to touch my skin very lightly. The feather blades, obviously, for those out there that have used them before, will know they're not very forgiving. But the thing with this razor is, and I've said it since the first time I used it, especially on my head, certainly on my face and neck, but on my head for whatever reason, it feels like I can't cut myself with it. Now, I've had a few little spots of blood and things from however that happens, but I shall be 2 seconds. That was a customer service call from a Ford garage. We just had the car service and they were just checking up to see how it went and whether the car was running okay. They've actually got really, really good customer service over here. Well, the Ford where we live has anyway. I think it's fantastic. I'm not a big fan of car yards and car dealerships, but I've never had an issue. I don't have a bad word to say about them. The loan cars are great. The customer service is fantastic. The services aren't extortionate. It's not the cheapest in the world, but they're not ridiculously priced. Touch wood. Our car is now 10 years old, actually 10 years old this year. A little Ford Focus. And it has never broken down, it has never let us down, it's started every single time. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. But it might be taking longer, but it's still doing a fantastic job. I'm only taking this down sort of roughly, I don't want it completely done. I will be finishing off with the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. Let's see how that works, see if I look exfoliated after it. I mean, the big thing for me, the biggest thing with this razor that I'll be using is the fact that it's 100% recyclable, the whole lot, including the packaging that it comes in. All your cartridges, your handle and everything, you just send it back to Gillette, and whatever happens with it from there, it gets fully recycled, or so they say. So at least in my mind, I know it's getting fully recycled. Whether it does or it doesn't is a whole different kettle of fish. So yeah, the house itself has been a very quiet place. We've been in Australia now for 15 years. We got our beagle, Tara, who was the second to pass away. We got her a few months after we got here in 2007. She was born on the 28th of August 2007, and she passed away on the 28th of August 2022 on her 15th birthday. So she had a good long life, albeit the sort of last 3 to 6 months of it was mainly spent at home, because she had hip dysplasia from a very young age, and it wasn't picked up until she was too old for surgery. So it was a bit of a shame, really, a bit shit for her and upsetting for us. But she soldiered on for about 2 or 3 years, struggling. Not in any pain, thankfully. Not that we know of. Dogs are tougher than we are. But she was medicated enough that it was very comfortable for her, and she was still able to have a good standard of life, and still played with her best friend Lila, who passed away 9 days before. So it was, yeah, they were good dogs. Right, let's get this lathered up again. I'm just going to rinse out the Overlander, just to give it a bit of a clean up before the face shave. Now, because I'm using a cartridge now, I won't need a massive amount of lather. I just need a little bit on here just to lubricate, really. Now the thing with this razor is, with most Gillettes, and most, have I got one? Wait a minute. Yeah, you'll have to bear with me, this one's absolutely wrecked, ruined. This has been used so many times on my head shaves. But you've got a bar down here and a bar up here. And these are little lubricating strips. They've got a little, you know, these last a while, these ones for sure. But they're supposed to add a little bit of lubrication when you dip them in the water and you put it on your face or your head or whatever. Now this is the new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. So this exfoliating bar here is just rock hard plastic. You can probably hear that. Now you've got a little sort of, what do you call it, lubricating strip up here. But you want the lubrication to come before the blade, surely. So let's just see how it goes anyway. First time ever using it, straight against the grain. 5 blades. Now obviously I'm using a soap, so it rinses out beautifully. Obviously there's not a lot of hair. I will use this razor again soon with 3 days growth. I'll probably use it on Monday again. So I'll do another video on Monday with 3 days growth. And let's just see how it holds up on that amount of growth. I can tell you right now that this is extremely smooth. There's a good bit of heft in the handle as well. It's not solid metal, it's just like sheet metal, so I'm assuming there's like a weight inside it. Whatever that may be. Give it another little rinse and just crystal clear. Yeah, it's a very, very nice shaving cartridge razor. Now I picked this up for $20 Australian, which I think is like, I don't know, $15 American or something like that. It's about maybe 10 pounds or something sterling. I'm not 100% sure, so, but for me it's not bad. A lot will depend on how long the cartridges last as well. That for me is a big indicator on how worth it a razor is in terms of cartridge shaving. Because these blades ain't cheap. They're actually way more expensive than skin guard blades. But it's doing a very nice job. I'm a bit surprised how much I'm having to sort of buff with it though. I am touching quite lightly with it because of the 5 blades. But I did think it would have taken less drags over the same areas as opposed to like the skin guard. I thought it would have cleaned up the areas a lot faster than the skin guard. But in fairness, it hasn't really. But that being said, it's still a very smooth, comfortable shave, and that's pretty much BBS. Right, and Dabby Dozy. Great shave, and to be fair, it's quite a nice razor. You know, it's comfortable to hold, it's got loads of grip, it's a good bit of weight to it. I think it looks, in terms of a cartridge razor, it looks alright as well. But still just a cartridge razor. And if I'm honest, it doesn't do, so far, much better job than the skin guard, if any. So I will pair these together against each other as well and just see how the 2 blades and the 5 blades go, and you know, just come up with a few new ideas and turn this. But in terms of the shave, fantastic, and 0 blood. Can't really go wrong with that, can you? Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.